In my previous video, I already discussed about LC oscillators. In this video, I am going to discuss various types of LC oscillators. The types of LC oscillators are Hartley oscillator, Colpitts oscillator and Clapp oscillator. Before moving to Hartley, Colpitts and Clapp oscillator, as we have discussed that a circuit which produces electrical oscillations of any desired frequency is known as an oscillator circuit. This circuit consists of two reactive components, namely inductor and a capacitor, connected in parallel with each other. So first of all, let us discuss the operation of this parallel circuit, which is called as a tank circuit. If we consider a simple tank circuit which consists of a capacitor of value C and an inductor of value L. The capacitor first plate is plate number 1 and second plate we are denoting by number 2. If this capacitor is fully charged with this polarity and connected through a switch. All of you know that a capacitor stores an energy in terms of electric field whenever a voltage is applied across it. Similarly, an inductor stores energy in its magnetic field whenever a current flows through it. Both the reactive elements are supposed to be an ideal one for generation of sustained oscillations. Now we will discuss how this LC circuit generates oscillations. Suppose a capacitor has been charged from a DC voltage source with the polarity as shown. As the switch is open, it cannot discharge through the coil. When the switch S is closed, as shown, the capacitor discharges through the coil. The discharging is due to flow of electrons from plate 1 to plate 2 through a coil. Flow of electrons is from plate 1 to plate 2 through a coil, and the conventional current is opposite to that of flow of electrons. This current flow sets up magnetic field around the coil. This magnetic field stores the energy released by the electric field. Because of the inductive effect, the current grows up slowly towards the maximum value. This situation occurs when the capacitor is fully discharged. At this instant, the electrical energy stored in the capacitor becomes zero and the energy stored in the magnetic field is maximum. In other words, we say that electrical energy across the capacitor is completely converted into magnetic field energy around the coil. Once the capacitor is discharged completely, the magnetic field around the coil begins to collapse and produces a counter EMF. And according to Lenz's law, the counter EMF keeps the electrons moving in the same direction as shown in this figure. This again charges the capacitor through it. This again charges the capacitor in the opposite direction. Now, plate 1 of capacitor has become positive and plate 2 has become negative. When capacitor is charged completely in the opposite direction, the magnetic field around the coil is collapsed completely. At this instant, the energy previously stored in the magnetic field has now converted into the energy stored in the electric field of the capacitance. After this, the capacitor starts discharging in the opposite direction so that the electrons now move from plate number 2 to plate number 1. The electric field starts collapsing, whereas the magnetic field starts building up again, but in the reverse direction. This sequence of charging and discharging of a capacitor results in an alternating motion of electrons or an alternating current. As a result of this, the energy is alternatively stored in the electric field of the capacitor and the magnetic field of the coil. This interchange of energy between electric field and magnetic field of the coil continues to be repeated and results in production of electrical oscillations. If there are no power losses in the tank circuit, the waveform of the electrical oscillations will be undamped. Means it will be sustained oscillation of constant amplitude. However, in practical tank circuit, the waveform of the oscillations will always be damped. That means reducing in the amplitude due to losses in L and C. Let us discuss Hartley oscillator. First, let us see the circuit diagram of Hartley oscillator using BJT. Normal C amplifier circuit, input coupling capacitor, output coupling capacitor. Output of amplifier is connected to feedback network. Z1 and Z2 are the inductors, Z3 is a capacitor. The values of inductors are L1 and L2. In this amplifier circuit, the collector resistance is replaced by radio frequency coil. It acts as load for the collector and also permits an easy flow of DC current but blocks AC current. The output terminal of the amplifier is 2, input terminal of the amplifier is 1. Amplifier provides 180 degree phase shift, whereas the feedback network provides 180 degree phase shift. So overall, the total phase shift of the loop becomes equal to 0 degrees. That means if at terminal 1 the signal is positive, at pin number 2 or terminal 2 the signal will be negative. And the feedback network, the input is negative, then its output will be positive. Let us discuss the operation of Hartley oscillator. When the supply voltage is switched on, a transient current is produced in the tank circuit and consequently damped oscillations are set up in the tank circuit. The oscillatory current in the tank circuit produces AC voltage across L1 and L2. For generation of sustained oscillations, the condition of Barkhausen criteria must be satisfied by the circuit. So if the feedback is adjusted such that the loop gain A beta becomes equal to 1, then the sustained oscillations will be generated by the oscillator circuit. Now let us discuss about the frequency of oscillations for Hartley oscillator. In discussion of general form of LC oscillator, we have determined the condition for 0 degree phase shift as x1 plus x2 plus x3 is equal to 0. Now in case of Hartley, x1 is the inductive reactance, x2 is an inductive reactance and x3 is a capacitive reactance. So writing omega L1 for x1, omega L2 for x2 and minus 1 by omega c for x3 and putting it in the equation. Solving it further, we get omega square is equal to 1 upon L1 plus L2 into C. Replacing this L1 plus L2 by L equivalent, so we get the expression of frequency f, where omega is equal to 2 pi f. So f we will get as 1 upon 2 pi root L equivalent into C. So we get the expression for frequency of oscillations for Hartley oscillator. If we are considering mutual inductance, then L1 has to be replaced by L1 plus M and L2 should be replaced by L2 plus M. In that case, L equivalent becomes equal to L1 plus L2 plus 2M. For generation of sustained oscillations, the condition for Hartley oscillator is HFE has to be greater than or equal to L1 by L2 when M is not considered. But when M has to be considered, so HFE should be greater than or equal to L1 plus M upon L2 plus M is the condition for generation of sustained oscillations in case of Hartley oscillator. This Hartley oscillator can operate over a wide range of frequencies from few kilohertz to several megahertz. It is used as local oscillator, but the limitation of this oscillator is that it has poor frequency stability. Here is the circuit diagram of Colpitts oscillator using BJT. Amplifier circuit remains same. Coupling capacitors. This RC will be replaced, can be replaced by a radio frequency coil. Z1 will be replaced by a capacitive reactance. Z2 will be replaced by a capacitive reactance and Z3 will be replaced by an inductive reactance. Capacitor having value C1 and C2, inductor having value L. Input terminal of amplifier by terminal 1, in output terminal of amplifier as terminal 2. In the operation of Colpitts oscillator, when VCC power supply is switched on, the transient current is produced in the tank circuit and damped oscillations are set up in the circuit. 180 degree phase difference is provided by C amplifier, whereas remaining 180 degrees phase shift is provided by the feedback network. If the feedback is adjusted so that the loop gain A beta is equal to 1, then the circuit acts as an oscillator and generates sustained oscillations. Now let us determine the frequency of oscillations for Colpitts oscillator. As per the condition derived from the general form of LC oscillator, x1 plus x2 plus x3 is equal to 0. Now as x1 is capacitor, x2 is capacitor and x3 is an inductor. So replacing all these x1, x2, x3 by their respective reactances, 1 minus 1 by omega c1 minus 1 by omega c2 plus omega L is equal to 0. Combining these terms, 1 by omega upon 1 by c1 plus 1 by c2, simply writing it like this, c1 plus c2 upon c1 c2. So omega square can be written as 1 by simply L into C equivalent, where C equivalent is C1 C2 upon C1 plus C2. And from this omega is equal to 2 pi f. So f we will get as 1 upon 2 pi root L into C equivalent. This oscillator is widely used in commercial signal generators for frequencies between 1 megahertz to 500 megahertz. It is also used as a local oscillator. It has poor frequency stability. The condition for sustained oscillation in case of Colpitts oscillator is HFE of the transistor should be C2 upon C1. So this is the condition for sustained oscillations in Colpitts oscillator. Clap oscillator. First, let us see the circuit diagram of this clap oscillator using BJT. It consists of C1, C2 in place of Z1, Z2. In place of Z3, it consists of a series combination of L and C. Input terminal of amplifier, output terminal of an amplifier. The operation of this oscillator remains the same. The addition of capacitor C3 improves the frequency stability and eliminates the effect of transistor parameters and stray capacitances. In this oscillator, the frequency of oscillations can be given by the expression of 1 upon 2 pi root LC, where C is the parallel combination of C1, C2 and C3, or we can say 1 by C equivalent is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. Usually the value of C3 is much smaller than C1 and C2. Therefore, C equivalent approaches to value C3. Therefore, the frequency of oscillation can be written by simply L into C3, 1 upon 2 pi root of L into C3 in case of clap oscillator. Thus, in this video, we have discussed about LC oscillators and its types,